Hey guys, it's Ryan from theprivatebanker.com. Just doing a quick recap here for crude oil and gold futures. Going to start off with crude oil very quickly because not much really happened today. I mean, what we basically saw was a open in the upper extreme of yesterday's distribution. I mean, we had two distributions form yesterday. We had the lower distribution in the morning. The inventory number came out, and then into the next period we see a blast off. And we form this balance up here, so I mean, this is sort of micro balance. And today we opened up in the balance, and we just sort of rotated through it, and not really much happened. And we just sort of slowly ground lower, and then into the close we see a spiking period in decay. Just some interesting sort of context here. I mean, values has caught up with price here on the weekly now. So I mean, we was holding this, and I was looking at this maybe to come higher. I mean, I didn't trade this today, but if I did, I probably would have took a short from the high and with a target at into the value area. And I mean, it was with the current price action that we saw. So what we saw was obviously longs accumulating here, and then into the close we just see this spike down. So just sort of key clues was we just basically spent like 4 periods in this basically square block. I mean, this was the rotations on the day. We started one time frame down, and we sort of broke this balance. Not we didn't break it, but we just saw this sort of just consolidation to lows, which was basically just below the initial balance, and just seeing rotations in that value area low for the day, developing value area low. So I mean, we were basically just hanging around here into the close, and we just see a spike down to the previous day's point of control. So I mean, when we see this sort of behaviour, it's probably best not to try and to fade it. I mean, the market was clearly obviously rejecting the initial balance low, and we couldn't trade through it. So obviously the only way it can go is down, so this is the way we went down. So did this into close, into the K period, so this looked like a sort of a spike down to get some maybe some potential buy orders filled and just clear out some inventory. You can sort of clearly see this on the footprint. I mean, this was the test above the initial balance first of all, and after the period came in. And once we obviously failed to trade above the initial balance, the market just rotated all the way back down to the lower of the initial balance, and we just slowly started to one time frame down from there. And you can see like the sort of the longs accumulating positions possibly at these lows, and you can see every time we came up there's someone sort of capping the market almost with these sort of big prints up here. And the market ended up selling off into the close, and into the close, like I said, we just see this big spike down to previous point of control, and we just see some huge, some pretty big accumulation here of orders. So, like I said, this could be potential buy orders resting in the market, getting filled into tomorrow's trade. So, obviously, depending on how we open tomorrow, we'll see what happens here. But basically, into the close, the Globex close, we just see a rotation all the way back to value here now. So what we are looking for is if we are going to continue to reject this week's value, or we're going to see a mean reversion play out. So we've got holiday Monday, and we are currently testing new year highs on the current back adjusted contract, and we have sort of cleared this this bracket that we was in, and we did sort of peep above it, and so the 103.80s is a big line in the sand at the minute. We are finding support in this area currently, but we could easily close back inside the bracket for this week, and then we could see some change come into the market depending on how this plays out tomorrow. So going into tomorrow's trade, what we will be looking at is I'm going to merge these two together, and I'm going to look at this current bottom distribution, and obviously this new profile here. So obviously depending on where we open will be depending on how I continue to play this market tomorrow. Just going to do to show you something quickly is we can clearly see that we're seeing this sort of balancing coming up here. We've got some little bit excess at the highest, but we're just seeing this nice move up, balance come to the market, and this is where all these big orders got filled into the close today. So it wouldn't surprise me to see rotations possibly back up to the 104.20s, and possibly a new high here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, going into the long weekend. Just going to go through what I was looking at on gold today, and I actually had a trade on this market today. So we had some news events coming out at sort of 8:30, and we had this sort of spike up into the pit open, and so So we see rotations all the way back up to basically last week's value area high and the edge of this rotational VWAP now for this week on the week, and we came all the way up to this month's value area high. And every time we come up here, I mean, these extremes are working beautifully at the minute, and we came up, tested the developer value area high for the month very, very clearly, and there was some good other confluences in this area, and this made sense for me to try and establish a short. I mean, I don't have my footprint chart handy on this chart. Give me 2 seconds and I'll bring it over. Okay, so I've got the footprint chart up here. So this is the spike high we saw into the pit open, and as you can see, there's a huge accumulation of orders up here, and there's a big sort of 144 seller at the 103.9s. So I didn't fade this first bar, and then the second bar came out, and I established a short here from 103 even here with a stop above the previous high. So that was the risk on the trade. I didn't want to see the market trade pretty much above 1305s, 1306s, them sort of areas. I would have looked to start taking some getting out of my position if we didn't see any sellers coming into this market. And so once we see this established, you can see we're just basically coming back into value here, and then we see a mean reversion, and then we see the other side of value tested. I did actually go through this sort of trade live on the chat box on the forum for some of the members, and this ended up working out quite nice. So I mean, if we look at Amida's VWAP here, you can see how this just basically was an algorithm selling this pretty much all the way down, and every time value caught up with price, we just see this market fly down to the downside. Delta was also very, very, very bullish here. We see delta divergence, and all the way down here there was just heavy selling. So interesting to see that. And so what I ended up doing, obviously scaled out most of my position into VWAP, and I held sort of a runner into the developing value area low here. So that's just how I traded gold today and what I was seeing. Again, if we sort of look at the open here, when we opened up and see this spike up, you can see that this current profile was we had established price lower. So basically what this market did was got a short in the hole, or long in the hole, whatever you want to put it, and if we see increase in volume up here, then maybe we would have come higher, but we didn't. We just see a reversion back to this previous sort of distribution balance. So if we merge these last 2 days together, you can see how this is starting to come into play now, and you can see where value and fair prices are established. Just a quick look at the higher time frames. I mean, on the weekly on gold, you can just see how consolidated this market really is. I mean, we're just in some very, very, very consolidated market. We're just tightening, narrowing ranges. So once we break out this one way or the other, we'll probably see a nice move to either one of these highs, most likely. So depending on how things play here. Anyway, I hope you had a good day trading, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Have any questions, please ask on the forum or email us. Take care and goodbye.